always remind myself to actually record. So, okay, so section 1. So one thing, of course, section 1 did not have a lot of questions, and that's fine, but just make sure that you do review it if you have questions about it. So the 5th question, and you'll notice I have like the list of questions. It says 1 through 5, and number 5 is bolded. That's because a student asked me number 5. So I'm only going to go over the ones that are bolded, and I will put these PowerPoints online later on today. So if you want access to this PowerPoint, it will be updated today. So the first question someone asked me was, what was the agricultural revolution? Why was it important? And so remember, that was a video clip, and it was basically people learning that you could plant crops and take care of them, and that by doing so you could get a lot more food than you could simply by hunting and gathering, right? And it let people settle, right? They could settle in one place, look after those crops. It meant then that they could have more stuff, right? They didn't have to carry everything with them on their backs, right? They could live in one place, get more food than they could by hunting and gathering, and could live a settled life, which of course allows them to develop technology and just live more comfortable lives because they don't always have to be moving around. So that was key to that. Now, the next question was related. What benefits did people derive from the domestication of animals? And you'll remember we watched a video about that. There were multiple things. Of course, a big one is food. That's in terms of meat, but also milk. We get clothing from animals, especially things like you can wear their skins, but sheep are great because you don't even have to kill them, right? You can continuously shear them. Animals also, things like pigs can eat food, parts of the crops we can't eat. They can eat corn cobs, for example, and then they transform that into fertilizer, which can help us grow even more food. And of course, animals can provide muscle power, right? They can pull a plow, and that makes life a little bit easier for us because then we don't have to pull it. Plows turn over the soil better than just humans could do. That leads to the nutrients getting up into where the crops can get them. That leads to greater supplies of food, right? So domestication of animals gives us a lot of stuff. Now, what did, so let's see, what made the rise of settlements possible? How did they change how people lived? What did they enable people to do? And I've kind of talked about that. But the important thing is an abundance of food means people can stay in one place and they can do something other than farm. That's specialization. You know, in the Paleolithic period, you were either a hunter or you were a gatherer. But now you could be lots of different things. You could be a potter or a spear maker. And of course, if you do nothing but make spears or do nothing but make pots, you're going to get really good at that. And you're going to make really good ones. And you will probably innovate. You will develop new forms and even better ones, right? So not only will you build high quality ones, you'll build ones that by design are even better. And you may even discover new forms of technology like bronze, right? Someone had been working with metal and did nothing but work with metal, and they eventually figured out how to make this alloy bronze, which of course is not a naturally occurring metal. It's one that human beings have to make. So that's an important thing. In addition, specialization encourages trade, right? So, you know, I'm just going to make spears because I'm really good at making spears, and I can trade with someone who makes pots, and I can trade with someone else to get food. And what's awesome now is everyone gets better stuff. Everyone gets the benefit of those good spears. Everyone gets the benefit of those good pots. Question 13 and 15 are relatively easy to answer. 13, what happens when things fall apart? And a lot of that was just trying to emphasize how important civilization is. I wanted to make this class as relevant as possible. I mean, someone could say, why study ancient history? And it gives us a basic idea of why we need civilization. And to highlight that issue, I wanted to show us what happens when civilizations stop doing what they're supposed to do. And we saw that in the example of the Syrian video, right, where these poor people, all they wanted to do was live their lives. Remember, they were in a market. One guy was out playing with his grandkids, and they could fall under attack, right, and be killed just trying to live their daily lives when civilization falls apart. And I tried to emphasize this is global, right? Because of these problems in Syria, countries all around the world are trying to figure out how can we help Syrian refugees, right? These people who their lives are so difficult choose to get in rubber boats and float around the ocean, hoping they can get to a country that will take them in, right? So I was trying to show that kind of global connection. What will learning about different civilizations help us to do? Well, we will seek to learn about these different civilizations to better understand the world and what we can do to reduce conflict so we can get along as well as possible. So, fairly simple, just trying to make the class relevant.